I'm here, just talking. I just want to come on and ask everyone, how was everybody Thanksgiving? Was it nice? Was it good? Was it quiet? Was it grand? Did you spend with your loved one? Did you spend individually by yourself? Did you get cook all the delicious trimming? My Thanksgiving was great. I spent it with my husband, and our three kids, and it was nice. We didn't have the big table full of, but we had the basic trimming. My husband fixed the turkey, and we haven't had turkey in how long? We always have something else besides turkey. But my husband said, why don't, baby, he said, why don't we go ahead and get another turkey? That's what we did. So, and I told my husband, I said, that's the best turkey I ever had. I said, I think that's the best. I mean, the way I said, you put your foot in that turkey, I said, it seemed like since I'm the best turkey I had with you, since I ever been with you. So we both started giggling and laughing. So, but anyway, I just wanted to make sure, I just wanted to ask, how was everybody Thanksgiving? Seemed like it was here and there, it's gone. Now, we got one more day, I believe it's tomorrow, which is 30th. Then it's December. Boy, this year going by fast. But just came on here. I don't know what I'm going to talk about. I just wanted to do a live just to get, just to see, check out everyone on here. I also, yes, I know what I want to do, or want to say rather. I have a new business. It's called Classic Creation, excuse me, I'm sorry. It's called Sporty Classic Creation. And I created this business with the help of God. Well, He gave me the idea, the concept, and then with the support of my husband and then my kids. I created this business because I felt like the work that I'm doing now, which is in healthcare, I feel like I needed something to fall back on. And I have a lot of other things that I'm trying to accomplish as well. But my heart is with my business. I created with the title, and the reason why I created with the title because I was always been known as a sporty besides other name, and I just thought, I use sporty for different reasons. Some that was for wrong reasons, but then some that was for good reason. And I just love that name, Sporty. So I was at home one day, and I was sitting here thinking, I know you, I know, I don't know, you all know the detailed story about God told me to spread His word on podcast, Spotify podcast rather. And if you don't know, I'm just gonna give it to you just short, briefly. I was sitting in my no, let me phrase that. I went to work one night, and I was sitting in there, taking the time out, a few minutes time out, and I was crying, and I was talking to my God. And I don't understand. I said to myself, I don't understand why I'm crying at work. And as I left work, one of the residents I work with, she was like me, Seventh Day Adventist, so, and she gave me my moment. And so as I left my job, I proceeded onto the train, to the bus, and I kept crying. And the moment I was on the bus, the driver kept looking at me, and I'm like, I better stop this crying because he probably thinks something going on. But as I was saying that to myself, I kept saying to myself, so stupid. I'm a grown woman and I'm crying like this, but I don't know why. Have you ever experienced that? You just be crying, emotionally and physically, but that's how I was. And so when I got home and there was nobody around, my kids wasn't around, my husband was around, and I sit on the edge of my bed, at the end of my bed, and I kept saying to myself, I kept crying. And I said to myself, I said, why am I still crying? This is so stupid. Why am I crying? And it was like a voice was talking to me. It was like someone was in that room. And it kept saying to me, the reason why you cry is because I'm trying to capture your soul. And at that time, I wasn't really connected with God. I knew God, but I was still living a sinful life. And I'm not talking about living a sinful life as far as having sex with men or, using drugs, alcohol. I'm talking about as far as who is God? Oh, later for him, hey, I got all the time in the world. I could turn on my music or turn on my movie, and I know who God is, but He's on the back burner. I just wasn't giving my life over to Him, and so leading up to that moment, God been really weighing my heart at that time, and leading up to that moment, I was sitting in my bed, and God told me, I want you to spread your, and when He told me, He also gave me confirmation in the Bible. Or how you ever realize when God tell you something, or you get a message, but then someone either on the TV or a person you come in contact, whatever situation, you get a confirmation. And God spoke to me and said to me, I want you to spread my word on Spotify podcast. Now, I'm gonna let you all know this. I stutter a lot. Oh my God, I stutter. And I believe that's my self esteem. I have a lot of low self esteem when it comes to, when I say low, I don't have a low self esteem when going to work or anything like that. But I have a low self esteem when it comes to me stuttering, my teeth, and my pigmentation. I mean, I'm trying some stuff. My coworker one day told me a couple of weeks ago, a couple of months ago, she said, I don't like your face. So she told me to use this. She says, take honey, coffee, and she said, take rice flour. She said, mix it up, and she said, and it will take the pigmentation on your face. Well, I noticed right there, it's kind of breaking up and clearing, but I still, if you see my face is still. Oh my God. And I say to myself, how is it that my husband left me? I guess he left me because of my personality, because I got a personality that is out of his as is a sweet person. I got a good personality. But when then I look at my teeth, I said, oh my God. So those are my phobias, and then I say when I talk, I stutter. Oh my God. And the only way I don't stutter is when I take my time. So when God told me upon my heart and my spirit, because I was praying and talking to Him, I want you to spread the word around to podcast Spotify, and that's the first time before I did this YouTube channel. That's the first um, uh, place I went to start spreading God's word. Let's chat with Sporty on podcast. And before I did that, I said, I'm looking around like, what is this? What did he mean? He want me to spread his word. I can't even speak right. I mean, I'm stuttering. And God showed me in the Bible about, what is it? Was it Moses? I believe it's Moses, yes. And he said that Moses, when he asked Moses, told Moses to go to Pharaoh and to tell Pharaoh to let his people go. Moses said the same thing, and God said to Moses, "And I'm not your mouthpiece." In so many words, did I not create you? And so Moses said, "Yeah, yeah, you did." He said, "Well, don't worry about what you say out of your mouth, because I'm going to be your mouthpiece." But as Moses was like any one of us, even myself, a heart is willing, but our flesh is weak. And when I say a heart is willing, our flesh is weak, even though God sit there and said to Moses, I'm not your mouthpiece," Moses still had that he had low self-esteem at that moment because he stuttered. But then when God saw that Moses was, he was human, he was still, kind of anxious and nervous like that, he said, "I tell you what." He said, "I'm make Aaron your mouthpiece." He said, "But throw that rod down on the ground." And the rod became whatever it was that God had told him. He said, "And I will still speak through you, through Pharaoh, through your rod." And that's why when you read about Moses went to Pharaoh and told Pharaoh to release his people, but his rod that God had given him, it speaks volume. So when he told me that in my room, and I was like, I can't talk. And so then, after that moment, I had decided to go ahead and get on podcast, Spotify. And I've been doing it ever since. And then there was another situation. Me and my husband and my son, my little boy, we went to Giants. And it was this older lady, and she kept saying, "Oh," she said, "I'm just came here to get something." I said, "Yeah," I said, and I was like, "Yeah, no." And she said, "At my age, I think I forgot how old. I think she was past 80." And I told her, I said, I said, "I want to be like where you at one day." And she said, "You can." And then it was just me, and my mother said, "Baby, I gotta go. I'm going to." I said, "Okay." But it was just me and her in the out. And me and her were just talking about the goodness of the Lord. And after we talked about the goodness of the Lord, and she was telling me, "You want to be like me, you got to keep faith and all this, And we hugged each other. And I said, I said, "If I never see you again," she said, "Yeah, you will." And I said, she said, and she told me, she said, "You just keep faith." She said, "Because God's going to deal with you, what have you. God got his hands on you. He got a plan for you." And I'm like, I said, "Okay." So my husband came back as me and the lady had departed. And so in the store, you can look at all over the aisles, up and down the aisles, what have you. And we decided to go to a self checkout line. So my husband is standing, looking around. And I'm thinking, what is my husband trying to do? What is he looking at? I said, "Babe, what are you looking at?" He said, "I'm trying to find that woman you was talking to." And I said, I said, "You would never see her, find her." He said, "What do you mean?" I said, "Because that was my angel." And he's looked at me. I said, "Yes, that was my angel." And when before we departed, I told that lady, I said, "Yes." I was being despondent coming here to Giants. I said, "And everything you say is what I said in the car." And I said, "But you got to be careful how you," and she took it. She said, "Yeah, you got to be careful who you come in contact with, because you could be entertaining an angel." I said, "Yes." And so when me and my husband was in the line, I told him, I said, "Oh, you'll never see that woman again." And he said, "What do you mean?" I said, "Because that was my angel." And from that moment till up until now, we have gone in the store at that same time, early, later, middle part, and we have yet to see that woman again, because God wanted me to get that confirmation right then and there, And so, when he told me, going back to when he asked me to do the pod, told me to, he didn't ask me, he told me to do the podcast. And so I've been doing podcasts. I don't have no view in there. I don't pray. And even with here, if I don't get no one to watch my video, I know that God has a plan for me. And so after that situation, I told my husband, I'm really tired of just praying and work. I'm tired of and he said, "Yeah, I know." Now, my husband know who about God is, but out of my whole family, I am more in tune to God's. Not saying, when I say in tune to God, not meaning that none of my family in my household don't have a relationship with God. But see, I was raised up in the church. These little young generation now, they don't know how it was when, even if you was the voice your parents, "I want to go," they're gonna make you go to church. I was in church Wednesday, I was in church Tuesday, I was in church, and every Sunday, I don't care if you was sick as can be, unless you was bedridden, you're gonna be in that church. And I'm not talking about just to go into the looking at the minister preaching on the point. I'm talking about the Sunday school. And then even after church service, or they had program, yes, and it was too close a time when you can go back home. You just stay at the church until the next program started. And then sometimes, if you're lucky, they have the meals Sundays there at the church. And if you don't have Sunday meal, you wait to get home. And I used to hate that when we would get home, if they didn't have no meal at the church service, you eat some food, and then you look at it now, your parents say it's time to go to bed. So so young people don't know how it is when it was. So when I say I'm more tuned into God, it's because of that. So, um, so when I was telling him, I was like, so I'm so tired of working with him. So what happened was, God told me to create my business. And I'm like, okay, create my business. Okay, hey, I had an idea how to start my business, but I didn't know how to put it into place. And so then I sit there, and the one thing about me is that, and I tell anyone that if you want to get acknowledgement, or you want to get a sign from God, you got to separate yourself, even you in a house full of people, and you got to find a spot in your home where just you and God. Now, after you have given it all to all to God, you may not get an answer right then and there. You may not get an answer because God is going to sit there. Okay, well, she asked me or he asked me. Well, let me go ahead and make my move. That's not how God works. He already know what we ask for before we ask him. But he want to see how much of loyalty, how much of sincerity that you are when you come to him. And then when you ask him, you got to thank him even before you even see the manifestation. And that's what I did. So I went to God and I prayed to God and I talked to God. I said, God, I needed something to fall back on me. I need so and so. And whatever I just told God, and it didn't happen right then. But sooner or later, ideas and situation would just come in my lap. Give me the things that I was requesting God. And I can honestly say now that I have my own business. No, my business hasn't really picked up on it, but just the mere fact that I am my LLC, I have my LLC license, just the fact that I own the title of my business, just the fact that I can be able to create my things on my business and be able to sell. Now I sold a few little things on one of my platform. Yes, I did. But just the fact that, hey, I know this too is going to pick up. And the reason why it's going to pick up because this was made out of love. It was made out of the blessing that God has told me he wanted to bless me with. Okay. It wasn't just a spirit of, okay, bam, boom, 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 man, and yes, I'm still working, but the mere fact that I can come into my office and see the manifestation that God has put upon my heart and my soul and my mind. And so I couldn't do it all by myself, and so I have a store. I started off with I had about 5 or 6 stores, but I had to cut some of those stores off because, and I was like, okay, fine. But my husband said, baby, no. He said, you got to think smart. He said, you don't have a lot of stores, and you paying at this store and that store, and you want to start off just slowly first. And then I thought about, I said, you know what? I said, he's right about that. So I started off with Printify. I have items on Printify. The thing about Printify is that I have things in it, but the prices is like that. So what I've done is I've taken designs, things in my mind, and I put it together, and then I let Printify design my items, whatever I chose to what's for them to design. So that was that. Then I have another store. I said, okay, I can take that store, and then I can take that store and put the same design. Now with Printify, I usually take things that I design and I put it on Printify so they can go here and design my items, and then I can usually buy my items from myself and then sell it to the other platforms I have, which is Shopify. I have Shopify where I usually sell things on there. I have uh uh I have Macari. And I love Macari because you sell things in there, you get the profit. It's the fees and that is is out there. It's grand in other platforms. So I have a lot of my stuff on Macari. I sell things on there, and and it's nice. And so far, I have why people has bought things from on that site, and I also I started with TikTok, but like I said, my husband saying, I said the same thing. You gotta start real slow. Don't, a lot of times people business don't pick up or their business dissolve because they want to get the apple, the whole apple. No, you can't start with the whole apple. You got to start a little bit, little bit, and then you put the like you get a puzzle. You can't just get the puzzle and just put it in together right there. You got to use your mind and decide which piece go with which, and it may take a while, but you soon and very soon that puzzle is going to be designed off that box. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm putting uh uh the format, the concept, and my business in together, and hopefully one day I can sit there and say, okay, now my business up there flowing. And I've looked at a lot of YouTube subscribe or YouTubers, and they talk. One of the YouTube I first watched, and I think she's a young girl, but she has a mind. It's two people. I first started with one of the YouTube. Her name is Betty in Business. And she is a young, I look at her and she was saying that how when she first started out, she started a YouTube with her cat. So, just put, and then she said she's a multi-millionaire, just starting from the beginning. And that was the first time that I was trying to get my business together. And then the next YouTuber I watched called the Hintons, and she described how how to do this and do that business, how to create your own books and stuff like that, and all these good suppository things. So with that being said, it brought me to realize that I can do something with myself. I can look over the dark clouds and see that there's a rainbow on the other side. Just last week, well, this week rather, I was at work. I think it was Wednesday or Thursday, and I was in the kitchen in my job, and I was working, and I somehow or another it was just me, and I was in, and I don't know how to put in the constant words in, but I said to myself, I said, I'm gonna start feeling sorry for myself. And I wasn't going there at the moment. I said, I'm gonna get myself out of the situation. I said, I'm going to use it to better myself. And I say it because you when you had a job and you know that um you're there, but you're not supposed to be there. Does that make sense? And you're working right with some people, or when you're around a situation, you know that it's not making it easy for you. And it's not because of the job itself, it's because sometimes that's not your calling. And sometimes God will allow you to not be comfortable in a situation because He has a better store for you. Well, that's how I am when it comes to my job. I love my job, don't get me wrong. And sometimes I love the people working, and sometimes I don't like working with the people. But I'm in a situation where I'm at this job, I work night, and it's felt like sometimes I feel, oh Lord, but I go in there because again, it's the right thing to do, because I have to be a helpmate to my husband, and I have to support my family, which is our kids, as well as myself. But I know that every time I go into the job or whatever the job, I know that this is not the end of the road for me. This is not what God had me to be at, or what me had me to be. This is not my lifestyle story. And God will allow you to be feeling like that. And like I said, you can feel like that too. But the only way you can get confirmation is by prayer, reading the word, prayer, having faith, talking to God, and reading this Bible right here. That's the only way you can get confirmation on it. And when I open the Bible, and every time I have to go through something, or when I'm going through something, I'm depressed, or what have you, I open that Bible, and my answers is right there. I talk to my God, and my answers right there. I pray, and my answers right there. I don't know if you all seen my video. I just made a video not too long, and I was telling that video I still have anxiety. I certainly do. I'm not going to sit there and say I never had anxiety, because if I did say that I'm not human. Everyone has anxiety. But when I have those feelings, I know that I have to give it over to God right then and there. I don't care if I'm at work. Nobody needs to know what you're doing. Nobody needs to know what you're talking to God. You can talk to your God in your mind and your heart. Okay? And when I have those type of feelings, I know that, hey, this is not of God. This is the devil. He wants to put this fear back in me. And so what I'm saying is that that's what I did. That's what I've been doing. And also, I was at work. I think it was Thursday, Wednesday, and I said to myself, I said, I'm not gonna feel sorry for myself. This is not it. This is not the enemy. This is not what I'm supposed to be. Okay, I have over 20, I say about 24, 25 years plus experience working in nursing, healthcare. But this is not what my God has called me to be. Okay, or called me or want me to do. Okay, I want to have my own business so that I can fall back on. I want to have my own business so that I can have my kids to fall back on. I want to have my own business so that I can say, hey, I'm doing it. Okay, when I first met my husband, he was like where I was at, and he taught himself, and he got his degree, and now he works for the government. He has another job. He is doing great for himself, and then one thing I will say is that my husband, He gives me the support that I, as a wife, supposed it. Baby, you can do it. Don't let the stuttering go get to you. Don't let because your face looking like this, you got big teeth. Don't let that stop you. Because when you think that way, you're gonna stop your blessing. And I should have had my business, my blessing a long time ago. But because I looked at what people thought about me, I looked at the fact that my teeth, okay, my teeth. I looked at my all this right here, all this right there, all right there. I looked at what people thought about me instead of saying I am beautiful because I am a child of God. Because that man loves me so much that he created me. I didn't create it myself. He created me. He created me to be beautiful. I've seen this black woman, and I mean, and I hate to call it black, but and I'm not racist. I love my black people. Okay, I love my black people, but this one was darker than dark, and she has a white husband. And I look at the video through short videos, and when I see the video, I let you all know the name of it. And she's taller than the husband. And the husband treats her like queen. And I mean, you could tell she's something. The last video, the last video I seen, she was a chairman of a library. You could tell that, hey. And I look at it, anybody would sit there and say, oh, look at that ugly woman. Look at that dark skinned woman. What he doing with her? But when I look at that, and I'm gonna be honest, I probably would have said the same thing. And I've had said the same thing, even though I'm looking like I'm looking too. Okay? A leopard can't, I suppose a leopard can't change his color, or how the word is. You can't judge nobody if you're in the same situation. And so, when I look at that video and I don't see her darkness. I don't see her blackness. I don't see the fact that she's married this white guy so that she can forget about who she is. I see a beautiful black queen. A beautiful black queen who made it, and she'll tell you on her video how she started from the beginning to the end. I see a queen that sit up there and she walks with class. And that the video she saw, it was from Tom Jones. She's a lady, and the lady is mine. And I played that video. My daughter said, "Mom, why you playing?" And I said, because it gives me confidence. I mean, she walks like, hey, I don't care how I look. I don't care if I'm dark, but I'm all that. And I don't want to be like that, but I'm just using it as an illustration. And so when I see myself and I see, like my coworker, she said, I don't like your face. Then she means what she means well. She said your face is too dark. The picture say I kind of got it fitted, and I mean I feel like because I'm human. And I said yeah. And I came home the next day because I work at night. I came home the next day and I just looked at myself. I said yeah, I see what she's saying. You got it all right there, all right here. I mean, people ask me if that's birthmark. I get my eyebrows done, and the woman just kept. And I said, "What are you doing?" She said, "Oh, I thought that's your birth." I felt and then sometimes go out, I catch the bus or train, and people you can tell they laughing or they smirk because my face, and I'm like wow, but I don't care. I don't care how people think about me, what they say about me. I don't care about people. I wanted this date one time. I was real young, and then you know how people they make the face like that, like that. And this guy, he did that, and I act like I didn't see it. But it didn't. But you know what? That's the reason why I'm not marrying him today. Okay, I married a man who set me for who I am. Okay, a man who saw my outer appearance wasn't at the part, but he saw my heart, and he said to himself, "That's the woman that I'm going to marry. That's the woman who I'm going to have a child by. That's going to be my soulmate." Okay. And so but I still get emotional. I still get like, hey, but at the end of the day, I did not create myself. God created me. He said he created everyone after his own image. So I know that Jesus or God, with God rather, or Jesus, is it God? No, Jesus. I know that Jesus, um, I know he is a beautiful person. Oh, yes, he is. There's no ugly about him. But if he sit there and say he created everybody after his own image, then why am I ugly? Hmm. If Jesus is beautiful and his father is beautiful, then why am I ugly? Why do I have these big teeth? Yes, I can get the money and pay for these big teeth. Yes, I can. But you know how it is when you weigh the option. Do I take the money for the teeth or do I put the money for my home and for my family? And I take the money and I put it on my home because my family and my kids come first before anything or anyone. Okay, bills come first. And we gotta have lights. We gotta pay the mortgage. We gotta pay I gotta do that. But going back to the topic, the question is, if Jesus is beautiful, then why am I ugly? Why do I have this stuff on my face that it seems like it's taking forever to come off? But then, why not? Why not? Because beauty is within, not outside. You can find a beautiful person, man or woman or man, and that can be beautiful on the outside. I mean, God, knocked down gorgeous, and they can be ugly on the inside. Your personality speaks volume. It tells a lot about who you are and not what you're trying to be. And I have come across a lot of women. I tell women quickly, I say, hold on. No disrespect. I love men and I'm married to a beautiful man, but you are beautiful. You know? And I was telling a man, within respect, you're handsome. But you can find a lot of person, a man or woman, a woman or man, that can be beautiful on the outside. I mean, beautiful on the outside, but beautiful on the outside, but ugly on the inside. Or you can find a lot of people. You can't be pretty on the inside and outside. Or you can find a lot. Yeah, you can find a lot of people that is beautiful on the inside and ugly on the outside. It all depends on how you look at yourself, how you focus yourself, how God designed you. And I don't know why God created me the way He created me, but I know that I have a purpose in His life. I have a purpose in my home. I have a purpose outside of my home. When I walk on down the street or I get on the bus or train and people, if you ever come across when people, you looking at a person, and I used to say this all the time, what the hell is she looking at? What the hell he looking at? I stopped saying that because it's a reason why they looking at me. I don't know them. They don't know me. But maybe they looking at me because they see God in me. Maybe they looking at the spirit of Jesus surrounding me. And that's why I realized I have a purpose in life. I have a purpose to continue to work at my job. I have a purpose to continue to build up my business. I have a purpose to continue to be a wife to my husband. I have a purpose to continue to be a mother to my kids. I have a purpose to go out here and spread the word of God to anybody who wants to receive it and to listen. And if you don't want to receive it, listen, that's okay. Because I've done what God had wanted me to do. He said in the Bible, once you hear the word, it's up to you to accept the word. So if I sit up here and I spread the word and nobody want to receive it or nobody want to listen, or somebody will say, I don't want to listen to that crazy girl. Why should I listen to her? Look at her. What if she look at herself? That's okay. Because I did what God asked me to do. Now the sins of the sins or what have you applies to you. So all I'm saying is that, I have to, and I continue to talk to myself and anyone out there. Let me say this to anyone out there. If you're going through what I'm going through, as far as um, the way you look, the way you talk, and the way you the way you look or you talk, just know this: you still are beautiful. You're still beautiful. You still are loved by God Himself and His Son Jesus. Let nothing or anyone take that away from you, no matter what goes through your way. If you are sitting out there or anyone out there who's trying to figure out what to do with their lives, and if they get a positive doors, then and they don't know how to put that positive doors or idea, then all you need to do is talk to God. That's all you need to do. He may not come to you right then and there because when you go to him, but when you go to God, you believe in what you say to him or react to him, and then you thank him before it even manifests. Don't let the devil come to you and say what you saying, because he used to say it to me. Oh, what you doing is talking, it's all in your head. Oh, that God ain't going, why should God bless you? What make you so special? Yes, what made me so special? Because I'm his child. That's what made me so special. Why? I know that God is me because the devil will not let you sit there and talk to God. He will not allow you to read the word. He will not allow you to fast. He will not allow you to pray. He will not do anything that's pertaining to God. He will not allow you to do. So when you have a feeling, when you have a sometimes I gotta pray to God, I gotta talk to, that's God. He wants your attention. He wants to bless us. He said to us in the Bible, everything in this world belongs to us as children. Everything that is positive, purity, cleanliness, all that belongs to us. But sometimes we don't get that because why? Because our mind and heart is tuned into one person, and that's the devil. I don't mind as a devil worship. If he can get into this mind right here and try to get that heart, that soul, that heart rather, he got everything else. So you have to you have to just be able to believe and trust in God no matter what you're going through. So anyone out there who's going through the uh 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 through the storms and trying to figure out, because people gonna talk about you regardless. But you know what they do when they talk about me? They talk about my parents and everything. It makes me strong. Because evidently I'm beautiful. Because if I wasn't beautiful, you would not be talking about me. You would not be bringing about the way I look, or way I talk, or way I present myself. Okay? Because if I wasn't beautiful, then it wouldn't come out your mind. But you know one thing, my grandfather was a half Indian, Cherokee Indian, and he was half French white. And he told all his kids and his grandkids, he said, if a person has a lot of common sense, the minute they open their mouth. And what he said is that, when a person, if you come out and talk about the way I look, if you talk about like the way I present myself, then you know what? Anything that comes out your mouth like that, you're stupid. You're stupid. Because why should you bring a person down and talk about their parents and all that you don't know who God is? So while you're talking about me and you saying that I'm talking like this, or I'm looking like this, or it's only making me strong. Because if I start focusing on what you say about me, as in the past I used to, but if I was to start focusing on what you say about me and what you trying to bring me down, then I will be in a desolate situation. Meaning I will continue to be hurtful. I will continue to focus on what man said. They talked about Jesus. They hung him on the cross. And look at it. And when he got off that cross, the third day we got the cross, the ones who sit there and ridicule and talk, they felt like a bunch of pussies. Excuse my French. Okay? So when you talk about a person, it's something about that person that you don't like. Because another child of God is not going to talk about another child of God. You'll know if that person is of God, and that God said you know it's him through the fruit of their actions. But when a person who don't know you and they talk about you, they talk about how you look, how you talk, how you present, then they don't know who God is. And I feel sorry for them because you don't know what's going to happen in the very moment, in the very next day. And then when something comes that don't go your way, and the same person treats you like that, God's going to bring it to your attention. We all got to carry our cross to bear. We all got to do it. And we all got to stand before God to be judged. And so imagine talking about a person and talking about their parents, and you stand before God, and He said, "Depart from me, for I know who I do not know you." And you say, "Well, why, God? My name is so and so." And God said, "Because you talk about that person's parents, you put that person down." You sit there and you want to ridicule, but look at you. Who without singing cast the first stone? And then what really makes it so funny, I laugh about it, is what a man, because and I'm gonna do another topic about this, but I will say this. Isn't that always female jealous of female? Isn't that always female jealous of female? You got men out here jealous of female. You got women out here jealous of men. Now you can expect that from a woman being jealous of a female being jealous of a female. But when you see a man is supposed to be a man that's supposed to take charge and supposed to say, hey, you know what? God made me a man, I'm a man. But when you see a man who is jealous of a female or who try to bring down a female, especially a female that they don't know from Adam from Eve, I laugh about it. I laugh about it. When we was growing, they used to say, "Sticks and bone may hurt my bone, but words can never hurt." Whatever that how it goes, and that's how I do all the time. I certainly do. I don't care if people sit there and talk about my teeth. I don't care if people talk about my face. I don't care if people talk about the way I sound. I don't care if people with the. I don't care anymore because I know who I am. My self-esteem at the time in the beginning was very low. It was poor. I rated it as an F myself. But now my self-esteem is A plus, A plus, A plus. And the reason why I do it now, I rate it the highest it can go, is because I know who my God is. And my God is Jesus Christ Almighty. I believe that. I believe that. I believe that as I believe that uh, I believe that as as my name is not who I am. So so what I'm saying is somebody here said hi. Which country are I am from United States. I am from United States. Um yep, I'm from United States. Certainly am. Uh, nice glasses. Thank you. I need these glasses because sometimes, I'm 53 years old now, and sometimes it's hard for me to see the little small words or even just see in pictures in front of me. That's when you know that you're getting older. As much as some people say I look young, some people say I look like I'm in my 30s, and but I'm 53 years old. I'm proud of it. I certainly am. So, somebody said the effect of meth. No, sweetie, it's not the effect of meth. Yeah, well, you know what? Let me say this. Let me just say this. It is the effect of it's the effect of meth. Yes, it is. Yeah, it certainly is. It's the effect of meth of Jesus Christ Almighty. You see, at one time I used to want to sit there and drink and wine because I don't drink the hot stuff, the wine away, But now I get high on life. And then high on life, I get high. When I mean get high on life, I get high on Jesus Christ. And so when you say the effect of meth, no, it's not the effect of meth, sweetie. It's the effect of yes, it's the effect of meth, which is Jesus Christ. When you get to the point of being, if you get to the point of being in that and being, when you get to the point of having that type of attitude, you're okay with God. How many people get the fact of being under the influence of Jesus Christ? See, I don't have to open a glass. I don't have to drink. I never used drugs in my life. I never smoked in my life. So I don't have to go here and get a drink and say and make me feel good about myself. What I can do to make me feel good, and I can give you, I can do it every day, and it won't take no tolls on my body. This right here, the Holy Bible, fasting, uh, 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 praying to God. When you can get to that stage in your life, you're okay with God. See, the devil wants you to go ahead and drink. The devil wants you to go ahead and use drugs and alcohol. The devil wants you to sit there and smoke cigarettes, what have it, whatever he wants you to do. But God, if you got God in your life, you already high on His mercy and His grace and His Holy Spirit. Okay. I don't have to drink alcohol. I don't have to sit there and go to the club and shake my bun. I don't have to go out here and try to figure out, hey, enjoy myself. I can still enjoy my life, but it's the clean spirit, the clean kind of way of enjoying my life. So all I'm saying is that uh, God is good all the time. He's good all the time. So I'm telling everyone out there, if you are in a situation like I had one time, I was in a situation where I didn't know if I was coming or going. I didn't know if I was going to be able to stand on my 2 feet. I didn't know and why my teeth look like that? You know, you're right. Why do my teeth look like that? My teeth look like that because of me growing up didn't have the necessary. I had a single mother, well, a father and mother. God bless my father, who tried to provide for her family, which is me and my two other sisters, and also because I had to work. I worked since I was 16 years old, 16 years of age, and I had to surprise to provide for myself, provide for my family, and and there's a lot of other things. I didn't have it like young people and try to have the golden spoon. I had to go out there and hustle and bustle, and by me hustle and bustle, thanks be to God, I don't have a record. I never got locked up. Never dealt with drugs. Never dealt with alcohol. Yes, had a glass of wine here and there. Yes, indeed. Never had to sit there. I never smoked cigarettes. Never made my mother disappointed by being a teenage pregnancy. Never had she had to go to the jail to get me. Never did she had to deal with me dealing with one boy coming in, another boy coming out. But I still had to struggle. I still had to provide. I didn't have an easy life. But what I did do was I trusted my God. And the funny thing about it was God had me at that time. And you know how when you sin and stuff like that, and you don't know why you still here, and how God still allow you to be blessed, and He allowed some people to get over the hurdles that they go through, so they can be a testimony unto Him. So when I was going through those things from me growing up from young to now, I'm because of Him. Me 53 years old and still hanging in there. And then what happened was God gave me my soulmate. He gave me a man that treated me like the queen that I am. He did. He gave me a man that treated me like the way I'm supposed to be treated. And I'm so proud of my husband. I'm so proud of him for loving me even when I don't even love myself. Who accepted me even when I don't accept myself. Sometimes when I have a hard day at work or when I'm going through something and I come home, besides giving it to the God, I talk to him and he support me. And not only him, but my kids, our kids as well. If God can do it for me, God can do it for anybody else. So all I'm saying to anyone out there, it's not going to get easy. It's never easy. Trust me in that. Even when you're a child of God, it's not easy. But you learn to adapt. You learn to understand the reason behind the things that you have to go through in life. You learn to trust in God. You learn to overlook the situation you're in, the picture, and you learn to accept and lean on God. If I had a lean on God like I did now and back in days, I would have been probably dead now. I probably would have been in jail. I probably would have been, in a worse situation. But God's mercy and grace kept me. It kept me. It kept me from crossing over. Not crossing over to the for the good things, for good side, but crossing over to the path that the devil wanted to take me. And it's not easy. It's never going to be easy. As children of God, you're going to go through hurdles. But the thing about going through hurdles is that He's going to carry you. He's going to along the way. And one thing I told my husband and my kids, if there ever comes a time when I leave this world, I want on my obituary or on my program, and I want that to say, uh, the footprints in the sand. And it talks in the and it was a poem. Yeah, everybody know that. It talks to the point how the man, it says man, but it can be man or woman, and it talks about how this person is going through a lot of his life, and he's walking across the sand on the beach. And when he looks back, he saw one. He looked back. He saw one set of footprints, and he was despondent because he said to God, he questioned God, as we all do, why is it that I only see one set of footprint? I thought that you loved me so much that you would not leave me or forsake me. You would still be there. You know I'm going through this. You know I'm going through that. And God sit there and responded back to him and said to him, no, sweetie. It wasn't because when you saw one set of footprint, it wasn't that forsaking you or left you. It was because I love you and I'm carrying you through your obstacles and through your trials and through your tribulation, through the fact that you like with my faith, I'm carrying you through that. Like my teeth, I'm carrying through that. Like my stuttering, I'm carrying you through that. So when you see one set of footprints in your life, it's not because God forgot about you. He's carrying you. Again, like I said, when I was a young girl growing up, I had to go through a lot. And it's things I say have yet to disclose on here. But it was hitting. The reason why I got from that hurdle to here is because of Jesus Christ and his Father. Don't let the devil rain on your parade. Meaning, don't let the devil rain into your spirit thinking you can't, and that you're not love enough for him to bless you. Again, when people talk about you, it's because they it's something about you. Only way the devil can attack you is attack your appearance or whatever you're going through. Because at the end of the day, the devil don't have your soul. He wants your soul. And the only way he can stir you away from God is to talk about you. How can someone talk about someone and they don't know who you are? They don't have a relationship with you. How can they do that? But they try, which is the devil. If I can just put that thought in her mind and spirit and make her feel lesser than she for what really is, then I got her. I used to be that same person. But now I don't do that anymore. Or I'm not like that anymore. Because my faith and trust is in God. I'm going to walk out here. I'm going to have big teeth. I'm going to have my face looking like ears. I don't care. Because I know that I belong to that man upstairs. And I know that no one formed against me shall prosper. Again, you can find beautiful people on the outside, but it can be ugly on the inside. And if it has to be like that, then Lord, I ask you to continue to allow me to be ugly because I don't want an evil or ugly or dark cloud within my spirit. I don't want to have to stand before you, dear God, and say, or Jesus say, okay, I'm ready to go in heaven. And for you to turn around and say, depart from me, for I know not who you are. What do you mean? Because you did not live your life the way I wanted you to live. You did not take heed to the warning or the calling that I had given to you many, many times. So if it has to be like that, then I don't want that. I want to stand before that man to say, God, I'm ready to go home. Come on, child of mine. Okay, God. Yes, because you did everything I had set you out to do. You did everything that I wanted you to do. You did you respect me, you obey me, you accepted my words, you accepting my calling. You didn't put your faith in man and what they thought about you. See, the children of God, we may be in this world, but we don't have to be a part of this world. Everything that is good is now bad because that's what the devil has it to be. And everything that's bad is good. You can be in this world, but you don't have to be a part of this world. Just like with Lot. He was in that in Sodom and Gomorrah. He was inside of Gomorrah, him and his family, and they was sinning. They was doing everything but the shout of God. Any sinful thing you thought of, they was doing it. But does that mean that he was part of it? No. He was just in there. And when God saw that it was too overbearing for Saul and his family, and how they definitely didn't want to continue to be around sinners and all them sinful things that them people was doing, God allowed two angels to come and escort them out of there. So that's what it comes to us. We can be in this world as children of God, but we don't have to be a part of this world. We don't have to focus on what the devil's trying to do, because the devil's a liar. At the end of the day, he's going to be destroyed. He will put all kind of negative thoughts in your mind, or and try to make you feel like his way is the best way, and it really isn't. He did that to me one time. He made me feel like I can't do for myself. He made me feel like these piercing. I got this, I have that, and what else? And I got piercing on my ears and stuff like that. But I got this piercing in my face because if I put piercing in my face, I had it right there. Then I closed that. And the reason I closed it because I'm in a nursing field. I said I put piercing in my face. Maybe it made me look better. Maybe but all it did is, when you done something in your life and you think that will change the outcome of the situation you're in, and you realize you're still in the same situation. It's like when, for example, people drink and stuff. They try to drink their burdens or use drugs or whatever you drink. Try to do that to escape from reality or the situation you're in, and then after they get over their high and their drunkenness, they still face the situation they're in. You can't escape what you're going through. I can't take this and say, okay, I'm take this off, take that off, take that off, take this off. Yes, you got to work at it. Yes, I'm working to get my teeth together. I'm working to take this on my face. But at the same time, it is what it is. I'm still going to be blessed. I'm still going to look beautiful within God. And I'm still going to be loved by Him. And at the end of the day, I'm still His child. So that's what you got to start thinking. You got to stop trusting and believing and build this confidence inside of you. Don't let the devil bring you down. Don't let the devil try to make you feel like you useless. Don't try to allow the devil to make you think that there's nothing else for you. And last but not least, don't let the devil to put in your heart and spirit to take your life. So many people life is being taken away. They committed suicide. Oh, I can't do it. It's better for me to be dead than be alive. And we don't have the power to take our own lives. And I would think that if you take your own life, you go to hell. But I don't know now. And I know that's what I was taught of. You take your own life, you go to hell. But that's not for me it's not for me to say if you're going to heaven or hell. But what I do know is that we don't have the power, the authority rather, to take our own lives. And right now, somebody right now is contemplating if they should take their own lives. People who are born in wealth and they lose all this wealth and they don't know how to, their wealth was their answers and their wealth to determine who they are. And when they lose all this wealth, they don't know how to act. So the first thing they need to do, I'm just going to commit suicide. And that's the devil laughing back and say, yeah, one up for me and one down for God. People just like myself who years had to go through this the way I'm looking. And Lord, I just go, he committed suicide. I mean, I get tired of people talking about my parents. I get tired of people trying to put me down. And then you commit suicide and say you do go to hell. Then you're gonna wish to God you had to just tell, hey, God, give me one thing, but it's too late. It's too late. Now, I'm not saying that to seek medical help, professional help if you committed suicide. Yes, that's why God has things like that for people like that. But what I'm saying is, stop focusing on what people say about you and do about you, and focus on what God can do. He is the resources to anything on our heart and mind desire. And that's what I am focused on. You know, I not too long, my family and I, we had went to went out of town. We came back. I had to go to my aunt's funeral, and I saw a lot of my family that I haven't seen. It was really good. It was beautiful, and my daughter, my sisters told me, she said, "Oh, you gained a lot of weight." She said, that's happy weight. I said, "Yes, it is." And I did. I gained a lot of weight. And back then, but I weighed myself. Back then, I was 170. And it was a couple of, 170. Since then, I've gone from 170 to 130. And I'm proud of myself. Still got a big behind. My husband tells me, he said, he said, what is it? He said, don't lose the junk in the trunk. And I said, yes, I'm losing that. But make a long story short is this. I gained a lot of weight. Oh, my ring, because I do work and I took my ring off. So that's because you see the little line right there. My ring is here. But I I gained a lot of weight. And what my sister was saying and several of my family was saying is happy weight. Because at a point in my life now, I'm happy. I am happy because of who I became, who I am now. Who ever thought about me still working at 53 and still owning my own business? Who ever thought I had my own office in my home? My own office where I can continue to work on my business, continue office slash chapel, continue to work on my business and continue to give this man right here, this man right here, right there, give him my time. I know at one point in time, I wasn't. I know at one point in time, I know it was going. When I was to say, I knew at one point in time, I didn't think it was going to be me. I didn't think I was going to have to be anything. I've been labeled this. She's crazy. She's stupid. She retarded. She ain't about to be nothing. She ain't about to do nothing. I ain't was one point in time, cause the longest time, and be honest, my sister, before my younger sister was, she had boyfriend going galore. I didn't have boyfriend going galore. Boyfriend here, boyfriend there. And people used to say, well, is she a lesbian? Or she like, no, because I was always underneath my mother. And thank God I didn't listen to them. But I knew I had a purpose. A couple of years ago, I went to my uncle's for Christmas, and my aunt and I, she was showing me something. We was talking. Oh, you know, what you know about that? I said because when I was young, I used to sit back and listen to the adults talk, and I took the heed what they was talking about. I remember one time my mom had told me and my sister. She said, "Listen, I want to know that when I'm gone." That you all can carry your cross and carry, you all can stand. And I'm talking about a physical death, but then knowing, and and I know when my mother said that, and she started crying, and I said, "Mom," I made a promise. To Mom, I said, "Mom," I said, "Yes, I will stand. I'm going to stand." And at the time, I didn't know that God had His hands on me then. At the time, so that's why I'm still standing today because I listened and I took the things that had gone on with my life, positive, negative, people around me that were talking. I still do that. Even whenever I'm listening, and I took the things that it was facing towards me, and I use it to my advantage, and I gave it to God. And when I say use it to my advantage, because I'm still standing. Like Maya Angelou, her poem said, and yet I still stand, or yet I still rise, and I'm still that. Even when I'm at work, when I work around my coworkers, and my coworkers, some of them coworkers, I look at them, they talk to me, and talk to them, they just think, oh, she's stupid, she's crazy, and I'm just looking at them like, you only know, if you only know, cause y'all gonna still be there, but one day I'm not gonna be there, and I'm not talking about death. People say to me, you are very smart. Yes, I am. I am very smart. I'm a very smart person on the good terms, not on the sinful ways, because I came to realize I have a purpose in life, and God is not through with me yet. He has not washed his hands off of me, and he probably never will until the day that he decided to say, okay, bring my daughter home. But right now, as I still got breath in my body and still able to do what I have to do and what God has me set out to do, I'm going to still work on my purpose. My purpose is not to think about what people think about me or what they say about me. My purpose is to go out here and spread the word. Go out here to show people, and even before I open my mouth, to show people how His blessing is all in me. And sometimes when you come across people and they don't even open them up, and you know there's something about that person, something about that person. You just can't, it's not a dark aura, but it's a bright aura, but it's something about them. Well, if you don't know God and you know relationship with God, then you be trying to figure out what that person that aura is. But if you have a relationship with God, you know that bright aura is Jesus. And that's what it comes to mean. Sometimes people, I tell you, I said earlier, sometimes you say, "Oh, what the hell is she looking at?" Or what? This is what you say. The hell too. What the hell she looking? What the hell are you looking at? I don't say it anymore because already they looking at me. They seeing Jesus, and that's what God says in the Bible. He created us after His own image. Especially if you're walking in the light and you have light in the path of God and you have a relationship with Him. Now, if you're walking in the path of the devil, when people say, "Yeah, you can look at that person and tell they look nothing but the devil," because they show their relationship with the devil. But if you show your relationship with God, you can see the image of God, and that's what He means in the Bible. He created us after His own image. If we have a relationship with Him, and we show the walk the path that He had directed us to do. So I'm about to end this, and I just want to say to all the ones, females, women, males, men, little girls, little boys, whoever you are, if you have the same, you've been through what I'm going through, and people talk about you, the way you look, the way you talk, the way you act, especially people who don't know you, and even the people who do know you. That's all you got to do. Blow it off your shoulders and keep on going. Stop focusing on what people stop focusing on what people think about you, because people gonna think about you regardless. You can treat them like royalty, and they're gonna still talk about you. They're gonna still try to find fault in you. What you need to focus on, that man upstairs. That's all you need to do. If you don't do anything else, and also feel confident inside you, and know that you are a child of God, and you belong to Him. Again, your spirit belongs to God. Even when you're sinning, your spirit belongs to God. But He gave us time, ample time to repent for our wrongdoings. And if you're not willing to do that, then He's gonna release the spirit to the devil, and then your spirit and everything about you will belong to the devil. I know I'm not going to hell, and I know that my spirit is not with God, with the devil. My spirit with God. And again, my business is Sporty Classic Creation LLC. My podcast is Let's Chat with Sporty. And of course, here, Let's Chat with Sporty. I'll put all that on the link below. But I'm going to do what God asked me to do and what He told me to do. He knew me before I was even born. He knew me when he created me in my mother's womb. He know what tomorrow gonna bring. He knows when I'm going to get off this live video. He know what my he know what I'm about to do because he created me. But I know that my faith trusts in God, and soon and very soon, anyone who don't know God and who don't have a relationship, they're going to realize as well. God is mercy and His grace is grand. He's an omniscient God. He's Jehovah Jireh. He is a God that sits high and looks low, and He loves us even when we don't even love ourselves. But He had to love us because He gave His only Son to die for us. A man who without sin, to be crucified, nails in his arms and his hands and his feet, spit on and persecuted and all that for sin that He didn't even do, so that we can have a salvation, so that I can feel like I'm feeling now. And that feeling is beautiful, more than I ever felt before. And it's a feeling because I know, out of shadow of doubt, I belong to a spiritual family. And my Father is Jesus Christ. So take care. God bless. And keep your head up. When people come around people, I say, keep your head up. I don't do it from me. I tell you, keep your head up. No matter what situation story you go through, keep your head up. And look for what's coming, that help. And that help is Jesus Christ Almighty. Stop listening to what people talk about. So far, I had to block, I think, 2 or 3 people in here. I blocked them because I don't want to hear that foolishness. I don't want to, Lord, when he talk about me, I don't want to hear that. And I don't want to go back and forth with it. My YouTube channel is a channel of peace, harmony, respect, and love. When I first started this YouTube channel, I said, anybody who comes on my YouTube channel, and it's all right to agree to disagree with me, but if you come with disrespect, I'm not going back and forth with that person. I'm just going to block them, and which I did. Because I don't need to hear that. And I don't want that on my YouTube channel. Set me for who I am or don't set me at all. You don't want to listen to me? Go to the next our live channel. Or don't listen to me at all. But that's not going to stop me from it's not going to stop me from preaching the word of God. And it's not going to stop me from knowing who my God is. See, that's the positive coming to me. See, my self-esteem is high. At one point in time, I couldn't do that. I used to crying, oh my God, this person to me. I don't do it anymore because I know who I am. And with my coworker, she meant well when she meant well, but the word came out, I don't like your face. Your face is too dark. She gave me the ingredients to put on, and I've been doing it ever since. But I could have said, oh, well, she don't like my face. My face is too dark. Oh my God. But I said, okay. Because I don't take the negative anymore, the criticism anymore. Yes, there's positive criticism and there's negative criticism. But I don't take the negative criticism and I don't take it to heart. Because why? Because I know God, I know I belong to Him. And I know that He's working on the inside of me. He's making me strong each and every day that I wake up, each and every day I'm in His world. He's working on my self-esteem, my personality. He says to persevere. No matter what we go through, we gotta persevere. The devil is trying to attack God's people, and he's trying to do it in a way that will bring you down and away from God. And if you don't have a relationship with Him, you don't pray, you don't talk to Him, you don't read the Word, you don't fast, you're going to go here and believe the lies that the devil put upon you. I did it one time. I told you all I still have anxiety. Oh my God, anxiety. But what I overcome the anxiety because I talk to my God and I have a relationship with Him. And I read the Bible. I fast. I pray. So I don't care what the devil does. I don't care if you talk about my teeth, talk about my face, talk about my weight, talk about my stutter. I don't care anymore. Because he's nothing. He's going to be burned in the lake of fire himself. He's useless. All I care about the person who created me, and that was God. and it's the precious son Jesus. So stop, people. Stop thinking of what people do. Stop it. Let it be one up for God and one down for the devil. The devil has no power in any of us. He will make you think he has power, but he really doesn't. The only person who has power is God and his son Jesus. Stop contemplating, I should take my life. Take your life for what? So you can go to hell and wishing God you hadn't done it, but it's too late then. You haven't. If you're going through something and you feel like you need to take your life, seek medical help. Stop drinking yourself to a stupor. Stop using drugs and thinking that that's going to be the answer of you getting over your situation. Me and my husband, we had to go through a lot. We had facing bills being cut off, can't pay at the time when we used to rent a home, and now we bought, and used to go ahead and worry about those bills, and worry about putting food at the table and providing for ourselves and our family. We used to worry about that, but not anymore. Yes, we do still go through challenges in our life. Yes, we will. We will not start going through challenges until that man signed his horn and said, I'm ready to come get my people. But we don't do it now. I'm not mad. This is the way I talk. I'm sorry. This is the way I talk, especially when it comes to Jesus. And I am catching breath. I do have asthma. But we don't do it now because I faith and trust in God. If I was to go to my job and they tell me we want to let you go, I'll be hurt about it because humanly wise, I need my job. I need my job to take care of myself. I need my job to be a helpmate to my spouse. I need a job to provide my family. But I'm not going to cry. And when I say cry, yes, physically wise I cry, but spiritually wise, I know God has more better in store for me. He has more than that job. And I'm going to walk out them doors and I'm going to say, you know what, God, I lost my job, but God, I know that my faith is trusting you, and I know that I'm not going to worry about what they do to me. And I'm also going to believe that he has a better, thank you. I will stay strong. Thank you so much. And I will know that he has a better for me. If I was to go to my doctor right now I have high blood pressure. Yes, I do. Oh my God. I'm the borderline diabetic. Don't have to take the needle, what have you. I have asthma. But you know what? If I was going to my doctor and they telling me, for example, you have cancer, you got 2 months to live. Physically wise, I'll be emotional because I want me to be with my husband or my family, or but I know that God, I know you got something better for me. I know my time is up upon this earth. I know that I'm going to that pearly gates of heaven, and I know I got my white robe and my golden crown ready for me because my faith is trusting God. And I tell anyone that's going through the same situation I'm going through, put your faith and trust in God. It doesn't matter what you're facing, no matter what you're going through. This too shall pass. It doesn't matter what people talk about you. I can be Miss Beauty Queen, and they still talk about me. And at one time, I used to believe in that. And I used to sit there and believe what people talk about. I don't care anymore. Because all I care is about my Father, and I am about his business. He told me to go on the platform and to spread his word, and that's what I am doing. I'm going on the platform and I'm spreading the word of God. Whoever wants to receive and whoever wants to I listen to. If you don't, it's okay, because I've done what my God asked me to do. And if I don't tell you the word, and especially when God called me to do this, and I don't tell you, then the same applies to me. And I have to be held accountable for it. Because in the Bible it says, once you hear his word, it's up to you to accept his word. And he said before he comes, but every knee above ground and every knee below ground is going to know who he is. And when I say every knee above ground, every knee below ground, so that means I believe in this. On this earth, everyone is going to know who God is, and everyone who's in hell is going to realize who he is. Well, some of them probably realize it, and some of the people who are still in hell being tormented, and they still refusing to accept God or even believe that who He is. Even if a woman is carrying with child, that baby in that stomach, before she gives birth, especially when God comes back, is going to know who He is. So remember, your faith and trust is not in man. He will help people. Then the difference when I say faith and trust is not in man, God will have man or woman to come and if you're in a situation, like if you counter, for example, suicide, He has programs for people like this be your resources. But your faith and trust is not in man or woman. Your faith and trust in God. As long as we live upon this world is so wicked. It really is. And that's why the videos I made before, and I say to anyone, don't put your faith and trust in Donald Trump and the Congress and the government, all that. They just, what kind of power they have? What can they do without God allowing it? If they want to go here and do this, do that, it's okay. Because I'm still standing. It may hurt me emotionally wise, physical wise, but spiritual wise, my faith is trusting that man upstairs. Stay strong, stay positive, and believe that God is with you. He said everything, all this is going to be faded. He said, but the one thing that will never be faded and never go is that He will continue to be. He's going to be. That's why He called. That's why the Bible says He's the Alpha and Omega, the first and the last. So no matter what you go through, no matter what you're facing, no matter ridicules that you're facing, people talk about you, put you down, blow it off your shoulders and keep on persevering and trusting what God think about you. All this on my face right here, all this, my teeth, all this, when it comes to God, I'm still beautiful. I am beautiful, and I'm going to walk with confidence. When I catch the train and I catch the bus, I'm walking with confidence. Because why? Because I know I'm a child of the Most High God. And also, I know I'm walking with three people. That's the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. So when I'm walking through that train station and I'm getting on that bus, I'm walking with confidence. Because I know who I am. At one point in time, I didn't know who I am. But now I know who I am. I'm beautiful. I am a new creature. Great creature. I am a child of the King. And He loves me so much. And that's why He allowed me to still be here in this wicked world and still trying to spread the word and still scammer. And not only that, I know that I have a relationship with Him. So when that sound blows and God tells my spirit, my soul, it's time to go, I'm going up in there. And like you take your clothes to the dry cleaner, let them clean your clothes, and you waiting for them to call you and let you know your clothing is ready, and you got to go and pay for it. Well, I'm gonna pay for it because I'm going through these things in my life, and right now I'm paying for it because as a child of God, there's nothing easy for them, but we overcome these situations by His Holy Spirit. But when it's time to come home, my robe is right there ready. It has my name and tag on it, and it has my crown ready and willing to be put on my body, to put on my head when God said, okay, my child did what she needs to do. Now it's time for her to come home and to relax. When people go to on vacation to get on the airplane, they go on the beach and they say, oh wow, I'm here. I'm going to relax. I'm taking a long vacation. Well, this won't be a long vacation because I'm going to my home. See, this is my earthly home, but I'm going to my eternal, my spiritual home. So God is good. Yes, you know who is still sitting on the throne. Yes, indeed. And that's Jesus Christ. Yes, Almighty. God is good all the time. He is so good to me. He is really good to me because when I look at what I've been through, only God, only reason why I'm still here is because of my God. He has been so good to me, and I know He's been good to you all. I should have been dead a long time ago. I should have been on drugs. I should have been homeless, but God Almighty, He sent me. He made the way for me. When I look at my life and what I had to go through, I had a hard life, but it's His mercy and grace is why I'm still here. When people say, "Oh, she's crazy," she ain't about to be nothing. She ain't, I lost a lot of people in my life, but I'm still here because of Him. And I tell anybody who's going through the same thing I'm going through, keep the faith. Keep the faith in knowing that God has not forsaken you. Man will forsake you, but God hasn't. He loves me so much that He has still allowed me to speak. I'm 53 years old. And I have a lot of challenges. Yes, I do. I have challenges going up, Lord. Like I said in the video not too long ago, I have anxiety. But I'm still here to tell the story of what God has been doing in my life and still being able to know that He has loved me so. You know, so many people around my age who have passed away. So many people who have been in drugs and alcohol and locked up, or you know, in a worse situation as I was, you know. And then I say, why, God? Why didn't it happen to me? Well, why not it didn't happen to me? Because His mercy and grace. He knows about our story, our life before we even put it's like when you got an architect and you want to design the building, you just gonna put the building and you gotta put everything into that idea and formulate it. When people have perfume, 'cause when you buy cologne, the designer, the people who created perfume, they have to put the ingredients behind it. Well, that's how God is. And He's still not finished with me. So why not me? Why not me being able to know that God still loves me? I should have been dead. I should have been in a worse situation. But God loves me. He loves me so much when I look at the Bible, when I look about how God is and how the things that He had allowed His Son to do. Oh my God, it's good. And it's not sad tears, this is happy tears because and all the ones who talk about me and say she's crazy, she's stupid. Look at the thick teeth in her mouth. Look at her face. She's not, look at, God is able. That's all I can say. Keep the faith. Trust in God. That's all I can say. And know that He is your answer, your resource, anything your heart desire. And I know people say, well, you talk again, but I had been through the storm. I remember when I had a child and we were just close being homeless, my husband and our kids, my two big kids. And I had a little boy. And we was living in an apartment and there was no lights, no gas, and nothing on there. And we had to go and live in a hotel. And then somehow or another this guy came and he asked if we needed a place and we said yeah. And I was praying at the time. Oh my God. And we moved at the hotel to this place. This woman, she's so no longer living now, but she had an apartment and we explained the situation to her, and so she said, "Yeah, she'd be willing to go ahead and move it in." And I was at the time, I was working. I wasn't working full time, working, and my husband at the time he wasn't working, and it was a one bedroom apartment, and it was a roach infested. I mean, mice, rats, whatever you could think of. And in our home, our living room was my daughter's room. And in our room, we had a big boy. We had the crib. We had my husband and I. And I gave birth to my son. I brought my son into this one bedroom, roach infested with mice and rats in the apartment. And I prayed at night and I was just continue talking to God and praying. And God has said to me, you had that because you asked that. And He put some other things in my mind. He said, you walk by faith, not by sight. He said, if you want to be out of this situation, you got to believe and trust. And whatever the situation you're going through, you got to trust and lean on. Not in your own understanding and not look at the situation you're going through, but you got to lean on me. When nothing else has come through for you, still got to persevere. And the next day, I woke up and I told my husband, I said, baby, he said, well, I said, we gonna move out of this apartment. He said, okay. And I said, baby, we're moving out of this apartment. We come into moving to a house. And my husband, he said, how are we gonna do that? I mean, how are we gonna do that? He was telling me the situation we're in. I told him, I said, I don't know how we gonna do it. But all I know is that we move out of this apartment, we're gonna be in the house. And somehow or another, we did it. Then the house we moved in, it wasn't a welfare house. When I say welfare house, it wasn't a house from the government, and I had to go back to work less than 2 weeks. Imagine now, and you wonder why I'm going through health wise with my body. I had to go to work. I had to go back off my maternity in 2 weeks, having a baby, and then 2 weeks later I went back to work. But I knew I had to do it. And we moved out of that roach infested apartment into our home. And it's been, my son is 12 years old. It's been 12 years since we've been in that apartment. We've been in the home. But I did not stop and look at our situation. I knew our situation was worse. But when I looked in our room, and saw my oldest son in the same room, our little baby, and you had to keep a light on because you didn't want a mice crawling up on your baby crib and sucking the milk from the baby crib or what have you. But I knew that God had my back, had all of our back. If He can do it for me, He could. Who said He can't do it for you? And I did not want to go back in 2 weeks. No, I didn't. And people say, well, why your husband at work? Well, my husband didn't work because my husband was from D.C. He wasn't from D.C. He was from another state. But he did, but he wasn't the type of man that sit at home and expect his wife to go ahead and take it. My husband was working on his game plan now. And now he's now at a place in his life and doing providing for him and us. But when I look at my situation, our situation, I could sit there and question God and just gave up. But I still stand. I still fought the race. I fought the race, and God won the battle. And the reason why, because I did not give up, because God told me. I had not because I asked not. And He told me to not look at the situation what me and my family was in. He told me we walk by faith, not by sight. He told me to not look at what's around me and what I'm going through, to focus on Him and His Son, Jesus, who died on that cross. He told me He knew what we need of before we even asked Him. Just persevere a little while longer. Your blessings coming. And it was hard. Oh my God, it was hard. Oh my God, it was so hard. It was hard coming home. And when I look at my daughter and she sit there and had a room in the living room. Oh my God. And when I look at my son, he had a room in that room. It was hard. And when I look at my daughter, I was married one time before. And their father walked away every time situation rise, their father walked away from me in the situation. I was only guilty for one thing, and that was letting outside interference my mother and my sisters and my family into my business. I never cheated on my husband. I never sit there and wasn't being a wife to my husband. But I did do things to lead to. But while we were still married, he walked away, left me and my daughter, you know, hanging and carrying the load. And then my son. But then God saw that and said, you know what? I'm going to send her someone who will never leave her. And that's my husband right now. My husband has been there. He treated us as if we supposed to be treated. Can't God do it? Can he not do it? Oh my God. There's so much I could do. I could tell you so much things in my life, but you all who know who God is, y'all know what I'm trying to say. God is good all the time. He's good all the time. He loves us when we don't even love ourselves. He's good to us when we don't even good to ourselves. And at that time, to be honest, I was like, maybe this is it for me. Maybe I just go ahead and just give and just to be done with myself. But he said, child, don't do that. That's what the devil wants you to do. Wants you to think. Persevere. And I'm still going through things in my life. But I'm at a spot now where I'm able now to realize, see the signs of the devil, realize that what is going to cost me? Me in hell? Question God? So I realized, man, I got to persevere. And that's what he said to me. Don't stop persevering. Keep on, keep on, keep on. Keep on running this race. Because your answer's right there. Mm-mm-mm-mm. God is good. So, everyone, the ones who don't have a relationship with God, who still question themselves, now's time. Persevere. God loves us. Even when we're going through something, he still loves us. Even when we're sinning, he still loves us. Thank you all for listening to me. Thank you for the positive comments you all said on here. Just thank you for it. God is good all the time. Take care. Until next time, be easy.